Hello everyone and welcome to week 2 of Health 402, Research Methods in Public Health Settings. To access the week 2 material, you can go to this module's link here on the side, or if you scroll down, you can access the module by clicking the week 2 link down there. So now I am on our week 2 module, and to get started, you can click this week 2 overview. You'll see that the video that you're watching right now is down here. But in this week 2, we are going to be talking about ethical considerations when we're conducting research. This tends to be students' favorite topic we cover, one of their favorite topics that we cover during this course. It's really interesting to learn about why we have all kinds of protections in place when we're conducting research, specifically research with human subjects. There's some historical events that you're going to learn about that have resulted in a lot of the protections and the procedures that we have today. So this week, you are going to be completing the module like you did last week. So you'll complete the week 2 module, and you're also going to read chapter 3 in your textbook. You also have a discussion post that you're going to reply to. You'll make your initial post on Thursday by 11:55 p.m. and you will submit your reply to a classmate by Sunday at 11:55 p.m. We will go over that in just a moment. You're also going to complete quiz number 2 by Sunday at 11:55 p.m. Please make sure you complete all of the material for this week before you attempt to take that quiz. So make sure you complete the online module as well as the chapter 3 reading, because it will cover the content that's covered in those materials. You'll attend your lab. If you're in the Monday lab, you'll go to your Monday lab, and if you are in the Friday lab, you'll go to Friday lab. This week in lab, it's kind of a fun lab assignment. You will be working in groups from now on, but you're going to be given a study protocol, and basically you're going to develop some materials for an IRB application based on the information you're given. So you're going to develop an informed consent document based on a study protocol. A lot of you have learned about informed consent in some of your other classes, but you've never actually developed an informed consent document. You get to practice doing that this week with your lab groups. And then you're also going to complete and submit a protocol review form. So you'll answer some questions based on the document that you have that you would typically submit with your IRB application. So you're going to practice like you're applying for IRB approval through Cal Poly. You'll create that informed consent, and you'll answer some questions based on the information given. Hopefully you're also working on your literature review assignment. It is due Sunday, October 22nd, so the end of week 4. Please make sure to review the feedback that's been provided from the week 1 lab. You're all off to a really great start. It looks like most of you have your research question pretty much finalized. I've given you a lot of feedback to consider in those submissions, so please make sure you incorporate that. And if you have any questions on it, I would encourage you to meet with me now rather than waiting till the last minute. I'm happy to help you if you're struggling to find articles, any challenges you're running up against with that assignment. Please let me know. I'm here to help. So now we're going to talk about your discussion post for this week. So your discussion post will focus on ethical considerations in research, given that's what we're covering this week. Your initial post, again, is due on Thursday, and then your reply is due on Sunday. So for your initial post, you've got kind of 2 things you need to consider. So the first part of your initial post 1, researchers at Cal Poly are planning to conduct a study that's looking at the long-term mental health impacts of COVID-19 on adults in California. To do this, they're going to be collecting online survey responses and phone interviews with adults across California. I want you to think about and specify what are 2 ethical considerations the researchers should consider before conducting the study. Make sure to clearly describe each consideration and tie it back to the prompt. So Please avoid making general statements. You want to, in your response, you want to tie it back to the actual discussion prompt. So please be specific and avoid making kind of general statements that don't actually tie back to this specific scenario. So for example, for this part 1 of this post, I might think about talking about confidentiality when it comes to the phone interviews. They're getting recorded, right? So they can't be kept anonymous because you're obviously recording someone, but you can make sure when it comes to that informed consent document that you're very clear and you communicate how you're going to make that information that you're collecting, how you're going to make it confidential. So that's a consideration, an example of a consideration that you could theoretically think about during this scenario. So for the second part of this initial post, I want you to share the research question that you're going to use for your research proposal. This is basically the research question that you came up with in your first lab, unless you've changed it for some reason. But make sure you incorporate that feedback if I've given you any feedback on how to refine your research question or any changes that were needed to it. Please make those, and then I want you to share it with the class so everyone else can see what your peers are doing. And then by Sunday, you need to compare your answer to your classmates' answer, specifically that first question. Think about how your answers are similar or maybe how they're different. And then I want you to provide at least one suggestion or comment about your classmates' research question. Please be respectful when you're doing this, and it should be something constructive. So don't just say, looks great, really like your research question. That's not very constructive. But maybe someone says that they're going to look at socioeconomic factors, what socioeconomic factors are associated with HPV vaccine uptake in California. Well, maybe you could ask, what specific population are you interested in? Are you interested in adolescents in California, right? So you can ask probing questions to get a little more information on their research question. If you feel like their research question is really great, you could ask more specific questions in terms of what they're interested in looking at. So maybe somebody is looking at what health beliefs are associated with influenza vaccine uptake in college students. Well, maybe you want to know what kind of health beliefs are you going to look at. So you can ask your peer about maybe what specific health beliefs they're really interested in examining in their assignment. So that's the plan for week 2. I think you'll really enjoy learning about ethical considerations in research. Make sure you complete that online module, read chapter 3, answer the discussion prompt for discussion number 2, including that initial post and your reply post. Complete the quiz after you've completed the online module and the chapter reading. You'll come to lab where we're going to work on a fun IRB related assignment, and then make sure you're also working on that literature review. Let me know if you need any help with that. I'm happy to help. Have a great week, and I will see you all soon.